Welcome to Good Morning Anambra Tuesday edition. How are you? Sure you had a good night rest. Thank you for being here. My name is Ijama Uche. We'll take a break now. We'll come back and we'll bring you what we have for you today. To bring you press review, and joining me this morning for press review is Simon Nwafor Eze Ofoma Esquire. He is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning. Good morning, the Anambra and all our viewers.
Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Okay. As usual, we'll have a Daily Times, Punch newspaper, Vanguard, This Day, The Guardian, Daily Trust, Tribune, and Blueprint to bring you away this morning. The first paper is the Daily Times. GDP growth, Tinubu assures stronger economic performance is the banner headline on Daily Times. It says federal government will continue to work assiduously to rekindle Nigeria's hope and confidence. Appoints new director generals as of NIA and DSS. Okay. Wando, NOAC deal followed due process, complied with PIA, NUPRC, replies article. The CBN raises deposit rate to 25.75% for banks as SLF suspension ends. We increased passport fees to enhance quality, faster process, NIS. Appeal court voiced judgment faulting Edo PDP governorship primary. These are the stories making the front page of the Daily Times. Let's look at the Punch newspaper. Federal government to shut errant fuel stations as petrol hits 1,000 naira per litre. And here, the writer here says, queues persist in NLPC major marketer stations as PMS shortage worsened. WACS, ASU, NUT differ as federal government bans under 18 candidates. Kidnapped doctor, patients grown as NAT strike grounds hospital. 136 Euro-bound African migrants rescued at Spanish port. Okay, let's go over to the Vanguard newspaper and see if we can get any story of interest there. Not this one that is putting me off this morning. Banner headline there at the Vanguard paper said, Vanguard newspaper, it said, outrage as federal government pegs age of writing works at 18 years. It will draw back education, NUT says. We will go to court, parents says, and then we will respond later. WAEC says, we want meeting of stakeholders. This coming from Kono, and then why are parents pushing their children? ASU is saying this. We will implement state police, say on Ondo, Rivers, Jigawa governors. Okay, it's optional now. And then separate office of AGF from AGFG, PDP governors are saying this. And then floors kill 49 in Jigawa, oh my God. Adamawa, Taraba displaced thousands to bed. Okay, Simon, let's look at the stories. So which of the stories will you want to talk on?
Actually, many things to comment on. But let me start from the Vanguard and Punch, because in Igbo we used to say, "Ekute bedonyo yam osisi wenyiti isi." The issue of education and the fuel price and so on and so forth as reported by the papers attracts my attention. Now, you look at it is funny and it is ridiculous. Federal government pegging the age for WAEC at 18 years. Then, the other day, there is controversy already about that of JAMB entering the universities at 18. Now you are bringing it down.
Is it 18 or 16?
No,
I think JAMB
they
said.
raised it from 16 to 18. So there is still control. Even from where I came back now from course, the intellectuals are faulting it, are fighting against it. There is no wisdom. There is no, and look at it. My worry is we are creating different laws for different sections in this nation. Now you will put a law that somebody must be 18 to enter university. But if the person is married, even at 13, even at 14, then the person is qualified to do anything that, which means, and that is why some of our leaders, some of the politicians somebody will not be qualified to enter university at 16, at 17, at 18. Then the little girl will be qualified to be married at 13 or 12. Is it not funny? What are we doing? We are doing like people who are confused. You see, so you look at it. Look at the child's rights. The child, what you ought to do and doing what you ought not to do. Child's rights and the young person's act. Instead of addressing, how can you create a law that somebody, if you are married, which means you are encouraging early marriages. People now, if you see, even people can try to circumvent that law, even if it is. There is what we call a dead law, and then operating law, and that is a way of causing confusion in the society. Look, because if I want my child now, if I want my child either to take the declaration, I can even celebrate something that she's married to this person, and then she will be qualified to enter university. Even if you are a brother, you call her. If you are qualified, you married at 13, you will be qualified to enter university. Then, but if you are, and look.
Encouraging people from the north, because we do down here we don't marry at 13.
I don't want to mention.
Are they now encouraging people from the north?
You can see that certain people. They watch the time. The Minister for Women Affairs kicked against somebody who said he will wed how many number of people. And the woman was rebuked and she had to withdraw. So that will show you that there are people who believe that they are controlling. Look at because some areas are educationally disadvantaged. Then we will wait for them to arrive before we move. That is the cement, but I don't want to. That is the simple truth.
Well, won't you want to say something?
No,
let's call a spade, what it is. If they want to balance the educational background of some regions, are there nothing they could do than to get some people wait for you?
And then the same
because they don't want to go to
school. The same
school.
people will be encouraging the girls to be in to be begging with it. Why not give free education? Why not encourage your people to go to school? Then this side, we will wait for it. The same thing is happening. What I'm saying is that it's obvious. It's not that I'm fearing to say it, but it is obvious. But people will ask, look at what is your fact? Look at it now. Some areas will be entering university or unity schools at a different percentage. Some other areas will be entering as so that is not encouraging. That is not good for a place that calls itself a nation. Okay. That's the only thing. Then coming to fuel price, it is funny. Look at the fuel price over 1,000, and then you gas 1,003, 1,004. The other day it was coming down. People were rejoicing. Now it has gone up more than. What are we doing in this? We have just succeeded.
All these lawmakers are not seeing that want to make law against that.
That's what I'm
They are
telling
making
you.
law at the age to enter secondary school or enter university.
They are confused. Sincerely speaking, they are confused.
Seeing basic things that are strangling the life of the citizens, and you don't care, you overlook it, and you are addressing something that doesn't have anything to do with.
What what is the wisdom in saying that somebody must be
Just getting
18
people
years?
annoyed unnecessarily.
Even at our age, even at during our time, some people entered university at 16. Why should you now bring it up to 18 years to finish secondary school?
It's just to level up. That's
To
all.
finish
And who is
secondary
leveling up with you? Who doesn't want to go to school? You want to level up with someone that wants to go to school.
Somebody who
Let's-
doesn't want to go.
let's-
And then is it not a way of encouraging criminality? Because somebody who comes from secondary school, you ask him to wait to go to 18 to go up from secondary.
No, they will shift it back now. You won't go to primary school until you are 10 years. That's what it means. Or you are 12 years, so you'll be balancing 18
Which
years.
is stupidity
Maybe you will
and
stay in your parents' house
that is-
until you are 12 years before you enter primary school, so that you'll be finishing at 18 years.
Yes, now.
That's it now.
That's that.
You just say what you know is not possible. Let's move on, please. And then, what do you think is causing this fuel scarcity of a thing?
That is maladministration and nothing more. Because are you telling me the people in NNPC, the people importing fuel, the people responsible for all this, are they not appointed by people? Is somebody not in charge? If it is a place where we have responsive and responsible government, whenever you see something, you know, you need it at the board. You call for the man who is what is responsible, act within 24 hours or otherwise something will be done. But this thing started from Abuja, Lagos. There was the price hike, so on and so forth. Now it has gone to every nook and cranny of this nation. So they know what they are doing. It is maladministration. When the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? The whole thing, the foundation of the administration, we don't have round pegs and round holes. We don't have people who know what they ought to know and what they ought to do. That is the point. So people are selfish and self-centered. They are just pursuing their, knowing how to get a private jets, ride a car of 1 billion, and so on, and protect themselves and their families.
Okay, we implement state police, says, say Ondo, Rivers, and Jigawa governors. So it's optional now. You do what you want to do. I think that it has been talked about the other time. So state police, why this, these people doing and the other people not doing?
Yes. Now, the thing is not. That is what I'm saying. Because if this is a nation, we ought to operate as a nation. But you can see different laws, just as we mentioned now about education and so on and so forth, about marriage. The same thing, some areas the state governments will ban beer, but they will enjoy tax end from beer selling and so on and so forth. And then in the same nation, so different laws operating in different places. I think that state police, it was thrown, and then there was a deliberation on it. It has not been finalized. Now, it seems that the federal government is following it with loose gloves. And then people are coming up with different approaches. How can, if we approve state police, then we approve it generally, and they include it and they bring it into the constitution. If we don't approve it, then we know that we don't approve it. How can there be, in a nation, some places will be operating state police, some places will not be operating. And if you say it is optional, either in any government that will finance it, then let us come out boldly and say it. Any state government that can operate state police, can finance it, can do this. Then we know that this is the state of the nation. This is the position of law in this issue.
That in Nigeria that you can have state police.
You can have if you can afford it. Okay.
Maybe that's where it's going to now. Okay, let's try and look at other papers, starting with This Day newspaper. This Day newspaper, the banner headline there, new spy chiefs trigger new expectations in national security. With some writers there, Mohammed replaces Abubakar as DG NIA. Ajayi takes Bichi's place at DSS. Tinubu charges new men to reposition agencies he used experience to tackle security. NNPC announces commencement of LNG supply to Japan and China. Why you are battling your 1,000 naira per liter fuel here. Okay, let's look at Guardian newspaper. Tinubu hints at economic recovery amid inflation, deficit concerns, whatever. And I don't know whether when we say we're having economic growth, when everything is going down the drain and you are still telling us that your GDP is growing. Where is it growing to when it's not reflecting in the life of the citizens and in our businesses? I don't even like reading such stories. Falana rallies MBA against illegal arrest, detention by police and others. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And then opposition working for Tinubu's second term, Lukman alleges. We have not even started, we're already concluding. IPOB threatens violence, alleges ethnic cleansing in Imo. Massive drop in enrollment threatens existence of unity schools. Why massive drop? Okay. Ocean confirms monkeypox activates emergency response. Wow. I beg you. Now it begins warning strike, demands immediate rescue of kidnapped members. Okay, that's coming from the ever-busy Guardian front page. Daily Trust is our next paper this morning with a banner headline there screaming, 21 states seek 1.65 trillion loans despite 40% rise in FAC revenues. And then, the 7.6 trillion released to states, local governments in 1 year, and 20% of June allocation enough to build 320 PHCs. And then experts urge accountability. Okay, other stories coming from here. MRA condemns incessant harassment of journalists by police. Bronu Yobe, Adamawa children battling malnutrition escalation. This is coming from UNICEF. And these are you can't provide food for your children, but you want other ones to wait for them to reach 18 years. Bandits abduct 7 farmers in Kaduna, demand 2 million naira ransom. Nobody is seeing this one. Nobody wants to legislate on this. It is legislating on what does not concern you and what does not even bring food on our tables. Youth angry. There will be trouble if we don't act. Obasanjo. The youth are angry, so there will be trouble if we don't act. This is coming from Obasanjo, and that concludes our story from the Daily Trust newspaper. Tribune is our next paper, please. The Petro steps up move for new Nigeria constitution. Okay, it does appear these people are waxing stronger and stronger, talking about the Petros led by Emeka Nyoko and co. Okay, says of 17-man advocacy committee, killer has team. And then to begin consultations with NAS members or other stakeholders. Anyoko speaks on Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Sudan, Canada, and then other countries. Retrace why now is best time to have new constitution. Okay. Yeah. Any other story of interest here? Okay, we have seen resident doctors begin 7-day strike. Police arrest 11 as marksmen in NDLEA military uniform hijack multi-million naira tramadol in Lagos. Residents of Plateau, Zamfara, Niger mining communities live in fear over constant bandits attacks. Where are they even taking those things they're mining from? Where is the revenue going? Okay, AMCON intensifies recovery efforts and lists international asset tracers. Nigeria's, okay, I think we have seen this story. Let's look at our last paper, please. Last paper is the blueprint. Okay. Tinubu excited as GDP rises to 3.1. I don't want to read that story. Let's look at the ones who have read before and see if we can get pinch at any story of interest there.
Yes, just as you said, that shows that the spirit is working. Because if you watch when you read the first paper, I jumped it because of the GP, this thing I promised. I didn't,
the GDP.
I just said I'm interested in Punch. And that is because at this stage, we don't deceive ourselves indefinitely. You know, you can deceive some people for some time. You can deceive all the people for some time.
Everything is not politics.
Everything is not politics.
People are dying. You are playing politics with people's lives.
And at this place, we should not be it is no longer promised. We want to see the action. We want to see do the talking. So no need of. So I don't want to comment on that. I'm only interested in one, the Emeka Anyoko committee issue.
The Petrus group.
So that we can know those people who are exposed. Somebody like him, he is fit to be to be the chairman of that body, and then let them bring to the knowledge of those people there that people, or just like Obasanjo said, that the youths are angry. Mm-hmm. We must act now.
And there will be trouble if we don't act.
Even a blind man can see the handwriting on the wall. That somebody was saying the other day that and one of the analysts was saying that the last protest was announced, was planned. Let us avoid unannounced and unplanned, because there is a way people may come up one morning and decide to do something that will be strange and terrifying. So let us avoid that situation where it will get out of hand. That is the point. Because some people, this one was, and look at what happened, and yet it doesn't concern us. People do not want to move. Know that people are hungry and angry. Now there may come a time, some people may come up one morning and do something that is funny, especially the younger ones. Look at these senseless laws now being created. Somebody may be annoyed and decide either to commit suicide or to do anything that will trigger. We know what caused the Arab Spring. We know what caused it. So some little thing can even bring the uprising. So that is on that. Then another thing that attracted my attention is the doctor's strike. Because anything that has to do with life, we must be very careful with it. It is, I didn't find it funny yesterday. I encountered, yesterday I heard of one journalist, a radio presenter I've known for long, who just died out of, because of this doctor's issue. And the journalists were lamenting, not commenting. People were lamenting on radio yesterday. Unfortunately, I went to see one of my doctor friends, and the two of them, one in the teaching hospital, the other, they were together discussing the same issue. How they brought that to the dead was threatening. What I heard the comments of the people in the studio, analysts and the educated people, how they were, what they were was, nothing to write home about. They didn't spare words. They didn't care. Now I heard what the brother said. What caused it? Because of the whole thing. There is what we call causation in law. What caused the whole thing? Even the doctors were pointing to the same direction. That if the security is provided, they wouldn't have lost their colleague and they wouldn't have gone on strike to cause the death. And because the analysts were saying, this is the person we know. Can you count on so many who are not known, who gave up their life? And unfortunately, the man that was kidnapped was released. But we have lost so many, a man that just married 1 year ago. What is the position? I was discussing with my wife last night. What is the position of that girl now? What is the position of the family? The father is there, the mother is there. The same thing now. All the whole federation, resident doctors are going on 7-day strike. Can you imagine what will happen? The analysts were saying yesterday, and the funny thing is that whenever doctors are on strike, the pharmacists
They said, why should the whole hospital be closed? The pharmacists, the medical lab scientists, the nurses, nobody will work. People in emergency, they will be told, go, doctors are in strike. People are already admitted on emergency who are counting on their life. You need people who need life support and so on and so forth. They will be dismissed. Even the drugs that was prescribed before, or the routine drugs, you cannot be giving them or giving them attention to sustain. Now this Anambra issue that lasted only 2 or 3 days, only 2 days or so, and the man was released. And if people had done so, let us please. And so what I'm saying, appealing to every sector to act wisely, and then appealing to the people on top to know how to avoid all these things. Let us reduce people's suffering. Let the poor breathe. Let the masses breathe. That is my comment on that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let the poor breathe. Let the masses breathe. Yes, we wanted to talk more on the patriots, okay, and the activities, the way they are going around canvassing for change of constitution. So you're a lawyer. So if you are asked, would you want an amendment on the constitution or a total change of a constitution, that's bringing in for a new constitution altogether?
It is obvious that what we have is not a people's constitution. It is obvious. We don't need to ask. You don't need to be a lawyer to know that. It is stating the obvious. Why? The constitution was drafted by the military. If you look at the other day we are discussing where we went to camp. People were suggesting the laws that need to be improved in Nigeria. Somebody was pointing at it. And if you talk of amendments, how many amendments have we had? Has it addressed this? So I thank God for people like Emeka Anyoko, people who were exposed. It is clear that what we need is a new set of governance. And the status quo must be reshuffled. Either we go to regional government, or there's something that we address the system holistically. That is the only thing. And you cannot do that because the Bible says you cannot use put a new wine in the old wineskin, and you cannot use old cloth to patch new one. Two of them will tear. So the only thing is to know how to address the issue holistically. We started amendment from Ike Kweremadu. How many? We are now on 5th alteration of the Constitution. We've been on to the 5th, yet nothing has improved. Then is it not a clear sign that we need to sit down and agree, either to agree or agree to disagree? That is the simple thing.
All right.
Jonathan came in and wanted to address it. We had the conference, constitutional conference. Somebody came and said it is a trash. And we are back to the status. Even when this APC came on board, they set up a committee, and the committee came in the same line. The committee acknowledged that let us, then they silenced it. Are we not deceiving ourselves? No, sometimes it seems as if even commenting or analyzing is just making, because these people, somebody said there is no need of arguing with a deaf man, the man who is deaf and dumb, that cannot speak. So you are just pouring water on the stone. So but we will continue to talk. People like Emeka, at least the word we hear personally, we know that we have. Somebody was telling me, we were discussing yesterday.
Is there anything the world can do for us? If they refused to do something for us during the 2023 elections, what else can they do for us? Can they change our constitution?
I'm not even expecting them, because some of them are enjoying them. So
that is it.
Look
at what happened during the tribunal. Where so many evidences were, in place, and they even refused to release them.
What I'm saying.
Okay, so let's forget about the world. And
there are some reasonable persons. Like now we have Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Like now we have Emeka Anyoko. we know that we have people who have some level of intelligence and they are reasonable. But the only thing is, the powers that be don't listen, and they don't want to do things. They don't want to use them to bring this, to make the system to work. And so, not that they will come to help, because some of them will not even like you to rise.
To progress.
To progress.
Okay, let's look at this story before we go. IPOB threatens violence, alleges ethnic cleansing in Imo. What exactly is going on in Imo, and when is it going to stop?
That is the funny of this morning I was listening to the news. I had the Johannes Ndiba, I think they are publicity secretary also, congratulating the Imo State governor. So no, I'm not against that he congratulated him and said that he won in the Supreme Court case. He has succeeded. He won tribunal for court of appeal. That is an evidence. But when he was saying it, I said, is it a personal opinion? As for Hanez, they're supposed to be father for all. You can congratulate him for winning. But when you start to analyze and they imply certain things, some people may not be. As I said, this thing now you are saying, does it go well with some people who are on ground?
That's why they
use are you just saying it to gain popularity, to be recognized, or to? So what I'm saying is, this morning the news is going. Look at them. Look at now the ethnic cleansing in Imo. Not even in Lagos. Igbo people are suffering in Lagos. Even the protest that went on, Igbos did not participate. But in Lagos, they're saying Igbo must go. In the north, the other day I had in Niger also, Igbos they are persecuting Igbos because of the protest. Now, even in our place, Imo, ethnic cleansing, not cleansing against others, but against the same Igbo. Where do you run to? And then we are calling our people, come back to land, do this and do that, but nowhere is safe. Man, it is horrible.
I think what they were saying that of Imo is that the governor is using federal might to unleash terror, mayhem on his own people, because the quantum of blood that is flowing in Imo, I don't know how to quantify it, you know. So I think we need to say, this is what I expect Ohaneze to look into, all these Igbo cultural organizations. The Igbo people say that an adult will not be at home, and then
abomination is being
committed. So what do you do? What do you do to make sure that this stops? That's what I expect people, our stakeholders, to be talking. Okay, this is where I expect you to, invest your energy.
I have always said
how long are we going to continue like this? It's not only in Imo, it's in the whole of the southeast states where you engage in killing your own people. Let's talk to ourselves. I don't know. In those days, 7 days, a whole lot of things that will be meted on you. A whole lot of things that will be meted on you, so that it will be a warning to the next person that we don't shed blood carelessly. But these days, it's like we like drinking the blood, not even shedding it this time around. It's a horrible thing.
It's unfortunate. And the funny thing is that, just as you said, I used to say it, that any elder, any elderly person that is at home and the abomination is being committed, and you keep mute, you are the person committing the abomination. I always say it. Now, the Ohanese will not talk. Even in some places, in some advanced societies, these human rights organizations, something like NBA, can take it up that this is an abuse of human rights, and so on and so forth. Some civil liberties organizations ought to think. But look at the nation now. Is it not NLC that tried to exercise their right The president of NLC is being persecuted now. He's being threatened here and there. That is the society we find ourselves. And that is why, people will take laws into their hand and claim to be Hitler.
Okay. Thank you very much, Simon Nwafo Ezeoforma. I got the name?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Simon Nwafo Ezeoforma Esquire. Thank you for joining us this morning to look at the papers, even when some of these things are not palatable. But we don't have any other choice than to talk about it. Thank you for coming,
much.
sir.
It's always my pleasure to be here.
All right. Thanks. Okay, that's where we're drawing the curtain on today's edition of the Press Review. Join us again tomorrow for our fresh package. My name is Tichama. God bless you.